Welcome Diecast fans, I'm Tom Spanners Watson.
And I'm Frank the Guru Gibbs.
Welcome to another DRN report. As always, when you're looking at these other channels, if you see a video that you like, hit that like button. Remember to leave a comment for them so they know you like it. And of course, if you really enjoy it, remember to subscribe to that channel so you catch all their content.
And just in case you missed it, we did a very special behind the scenes where you get to see all the workings in behind Chaos Canyon. Just click the link in the video above.
Okay, drag racing. First up, we got Red Pill Racing. There was, as always, some incredibly tight racing over on Red Pill. Go and check it out. It's a monster video. It's about half an hour long.
Next up, we got Wallside Diecast. And man, there was some good racing on this track. I really like the little updates they've done, but I like this one here. See, they're dead even till they hit this second drop. That sort of hot dog car gets the lead, but then blows it there. And look at that, that Mustang just slips by.
Now, Mr. Mom's Racing, always quality entertainment over at Mr. Mom's. If you haven't seen it yet, you have to check it out. Even if you're not into drag racing per se, these guys are awesome. This track is such a monster long track. And this particular race here, you're seeing the sort of family sedan or family hatchback absolutely trouncing the more sporty looking car. It's just such a cool track. Really enjoy it, and I love their camera angles.
Now, BlueLine Racing, talking of close racing action, they had their American Muscle Showdown, and as always, incredibly high quality diecast drag racing. This track is very nicely put together. You can see how close those times are. It's just incredible.
Wheels Calgary, more daily racing, and as always, it's just straight into the racing. No stories. Great stuff.
Now, Summers Raceway were doing a Jurassic Park one, and if you lost against the Raptors, you got eaten.
Hawkeye Hauler Diecast were doing basically a run what you brung, and I like this race here. So there's a golf cart here, and it's actually out in front. I think it got beaten right at the end. I can't quite tell. I think the Toyota came through and just beat it. Yeah, it did, but man, that golf cart was fast.
Now, speaking of fast, Redline Derby have the Pro-Am competition going on at the moment. So these are some of the pro cars, and just superb racing. Have a look at that one.
Hi, this is Dave from Dave's Nut Shack. You like eating my nuts? Now tell your friends to eat them too with this awesome t-shirt available from ChaosCanyonMerch.online. Dave's Nut Shack. Get them in your mouth today. Yeah.
Okay, we're going to crack into tournaments now. We're starting off with the DIRS over at WeRaceDiecast. Clutch Mountain proving to be quite a tricky circuit with lots of interesting racing action, and you'll see this one here. You've got Dom's Tuner Shop way out in front, and then Eli Storm and Mopar Mac get caught up, then Doc comes through, knocks him flying. It's just an awesome track.
We had our own trucks versus utes competition, so this was a head-to-head race, which we haven't done for a while, but this particular race here between the two C10s was just awesome. You had Nick right out in front, but in racing you cannot relax at all. You got to cross the finish line first, and unfortunately for Nick, he didn't quite pull it off that time.
Now, RTR have their Nissan Summer Series, and we like this race here between Jellybean and Piggy Too Little. Monster Motorsports versus Commotion, and just look at the way Piggy Too Little goes across the line. It was just an epic nose slide there.
Wow, that is quite impressive. And speaking of Monster Motorsports, he is neck deep into the Just Say No to Tampos competition. And again, this is another one that's providing a lot of great entertainment. And I just love that he commentates the whole thing live. It's just awesome.
Indiana Diecast, speaking of being neck deep, they are well into the sock hop slam. And this race here was just brilliant. So you got the two Nomads there getting out front. One gets spun out, and then this dude who's miles ahead goes up on the side and does a full barrel roll off the side, and then still manages to hold on to take the win. Look at this. You see it here in the slow-mo. What a move. I don't think I've ever seen anybody go around a Crash Racer's corner quite like that before.
Now, the Amigos Diecast Racing did something that even we haven't done yet, which is quite dangerous, and that's put people in the back of these pickup trucks and let them run down the track.
Whoa, I'm surprised they weren't all killed. Of course they would be if they're at the canyon.
Yeah, but look at that. It was a very clean race. A lot of fun.
Diecast Draggor had the most wanted competition. So this is Group 2, Event 1. And look at the speed of the Subaru out in front here. Absolutely storming away from the field. the van and the cop car at the back, but then the Subaru spins out, the van runs into him, and the cops go through for the win right at the end.
Oh yeah, you can't stop there, you got to cross the finish line. Now next up, we've got Gravity Track GP. And this track, even though it's quite short, was very challenging. See that dude there crashing out? Because most of it is flat, you can see how much they have to roll just across the finish line. That dude just making it.
Now, Roadrunner Raceway, another fun competition over here as well, as these guys go blazing down, and there's some great overtaking here. So you see that dude stops. This dude was jammed up at the back and gets through to the finish, and even Nervehammer made it there.
Cleveland City Diecast continued on with the 64 Ford competition, and this has been a great competition so far. I love all his camera angles that he's got, and then he does a nice chase cam slow-mo replay so you can catch all of the action.
Yeah, he's done some great races. Really enjoy it. Low Country Diecast Racing League did a convertibles competition, so a drop top, and man, there was some good racing there. I mean, that dude was so fast, he crossed the finish line backwards before the other guy had finished.
Over at Meal Ticket Raceway, this is another monster track. It's lame the whole way if you haven't seen it, but I do enjoy how the lead swaps so often on this track. So you see there the circle tracker getting overtaken, then the gold car coming in behind him, looks like he's going to take it, and then the white car that was leading gets caught up, he takes out the gold car, and that circle tracker goes through.
Now, Checkered Flag were running their NASCAR competition, and it was practically NASCAR carnage.
Yeah, there's a lot of carnage there.
There sure was. Some just ran out of steam, some crashed, but a lot of good entertainment over at Checkered Flag.
Now, War on I-4, I love this series. It's so intense. He's got so many cars racing down there, and I love what he's done with this track. It's really nicely done, and just some fast racing and good quality action.
Yeah, I mean, starting two cars going down to one lane, there's surprisingly little carnage, but a lot of excitement.
Yeah, it's a great track.
And of course, Guingoyo out again with the Skylines. This short track providing lots of action yet again. Those particular Skyline models are fast. We've certainly been fast at the Canyon.
Now, EP Videos, loved the production values on this track, and the track itself is quite unique and just very nicely done. He actually did a time trial this time round for them to decide their positions before the racing, but it's a fantastic track and great videos. Go and check them out.
And speaking of great videos, Campbell Creek Run, I just love this track. This is built by a 10-year-old. We featured them in Track Spy the other week, and the racing is great, and I love that just over the finish line is a railway line. It's very cool, dude.
And then Rick's Diecast Racing had some brutal blocking action there with that Porsche blocking out the Volvo, and then the Volvo slips around him very nicely, and then the Porsche just goes completely off track.
Bay City Diecast Dynasty of Dodge tournament. This is another fantastic track, really nicely themed, and check out this race here. See that Roger Dodger type vehicle? I'm not sure quite what it is, but a beautiful overtake there.
Yeah, that was a sweet bit of driving right there. Into street racing, we're going to kick off with Canyon Outlaws. So on the inside lane here, this is Fractal Panda's new car. He switched out the Roger Dodger for this beautiful Mustang, and he stamped his authority on the track early on. And then a big shout out to Big Mike here. Look at that drift through KM corner. And another shout out to Ratbird. This race against Benford here for the number 2 spot was just brilliant.
Yeah, Binford really didn't want to give up that spot. Now, King of the Mountain is well into their new competition over at 3D Botmaker, and this race here was fast. Love that overtake there, and then look at them get air going out of that second turn down to the straight. It's very unusual to see them get air there.
Yeah, look at this. That is a huge amount of air for that part of the track. It's like he's put in that safety rail. Now, Road Warriors cranking along again, and also just over at Hot Car Track, if you haven't seen, Simon's actually pulled this track down and he's rebuilding it all. Check out the videos. It's awesome to see the build progress, and I just love this manoeuvre here. Look at this overtake right down to the wire. Absolutely fantastic racing as always over at Hot Car Track.
Moving on to M&M Racing League, some more great action on this track. I really like it. It's nicely laid out, and I like the little extension he's done at the start. It gives him a little bit more pace, but what a great overtake maneuver there, and then a fine race all the way to the finish.
Now, Commotion Diecast racing these trucks, and look at this, a absolutely brutal block in that first corner, and then the F-150 tries to get around all the way to the end. It was an absolutely fantastic race. These guys blazed all the way down the track, and look at this, he's trying to slip on the inside, trying to slip around the outside, nowhere to go, and a very close finish right at the end. It was fantastic.
164 Underground Diecast, more good racing here, and check this one out. So they're door to door, the blue car gets ahead, spins, the other guy keeps his line and takes the win. It was absolutely brilliant stuff.
Alright, special events. I absolutely love Flat Rabbit, and this Truck Slayers tournament is epic. If you haven't seen it, you've got to go and check it out. Check out this particular race. This is just indicative of some of the quality action over at Flat Rabbit Racing. Look at that overtake, just so perfectly timed, and then that awesome big jump right at the finish. Check it out, they've got great story, great action, and fantastic camera work. Absolutely love it. Top work, guys.
Now, 3D Bot Maker had the rally kick-off. So the last week it was the time trials, or the final of the qualifiers, and then now they're into the actual racing. And this one here, you've got Marcus Firegon in the Subaru that gets absolutely savagely blocked and pushed to the back. And this Lancia comes through very quick. We know from our Lancia here that it is quite a heavy casting. It's not surprising that it actually pushed that Subaru around and actually got a good bit of air there, even considering that slower start.
Yeah, that is quite a decent amount of air. Now, DRC Racing, I love this new track. I love that there's no official start gate, that the pins just drop from under the cars and they take off. It's awesome. I love the theming on this track, and the quality of the action is great as well, you know. And I love that picture-in-picture with the follow cam so that you can see what's happening with another vehicle. As with most tracks, you only see the front car.
Now, Gravity Throttle Racing, absolutely loving this track. Love this rally style, especially with all the drift corners, and there's so much action.
Yeah, I do enjoy a bit of drifting.
So there's areas where you can overtake, although that's not one of them, but props to the driver for trying it. So there's another drift corner there, and then down through the egg beater, which I absolutely love because it can really even out the playing field because drivers get caught up or flipped over. It's really exciting to watch. I love it.
Over to Top Driver for their rally, and again, lots of good action on this track. It's a checkpoint race, so not everybody makes it all the way to the finish every time, but it's very exciting.
Now, Skorpio Love Smith was doing a run away from the cops race, and man, there was some good action there as well. So again, a relatively short track, but I like that race there. It was nice and clean. But check out this one with the Lambo. As they go through the under-over section, one of the cop cars just gets thrown right off the track. Oh, actually, two of them get thrown right off the track. And then the Lambo, huge big crash right at the end there.
Now, Sonora Diecast, lots of action on this track, especially with this jump ramp in the middle, Robin taking a car to the face there. It's just so much fun. I mean, it's not so much drag racing, although technically it is a drag track, but man, I love watching that. It's so satisfying.
It sure is. I love watching those cars go flying all over. And then we've got Beaverworks on the Stoned Road, another one of our favourite tracks. Absolutely love the Stoned Road. That is loose gravel that they drive through. Then there's the logs right at the end, and then a short sort of concreted patch for them to make it to the finish line. It's really interesting and so unique. I haven't seen any other tracks out there quite like it.
Yeah, it's really cool. I love watching them in slow motion too, so you see how much they bounce around. And then finally, Brunhilda Hills have this really cool skee ball tournament, and I love this one here, where you see the dude come up, bounce off, and actually land a 50-pointer. It's very cool and a lot of fun.
Now, into Track Spy. We gave a brief look at Live Young Diecast's new track. They are, of course, part of the DIRS, so once it's wrapped up at WeRaceDiecast in the next couple of weeks. It moves to Live Young Diecast, and we wanted to just show you this so you get an overview of the entire track. It is beautifully themed, lots of interest, love the little bumps and the jumps on the track. It's fantastic. It's going to be an exciting race over at the DIRS when it lands there.
And this one from Widowmaker Run. So the track used to be 155 feet long. I think it was the longest track in diecast racing. They've decided to shorten it down to make the videos a little bit easier to make. So that's coming soon.
Now, replays of the week. This was one that we actually missed the other week. That's Glitch going off track, hitting the scoreboard, goes back on the track and beats out Rubber Toe there. So that was just unbelievable, and I'm sorry we missed that last week.
Now, this one here is Glitch again, this time in the Canyon Outlaws. That's Philip the Tank out the front, but Glitch with that stunning little overtake as they both bounce through the corner. That was just awesome.
Back to DRC, the Camaro there, not quite getting enough air to clear that big jump at the end, goes sideways, bounces off the walls, takes a swim.
And then in our Trucks vs Utes competition, this one here, this was such a tight race. Look at this overtake by Stuntman Sam here, absolutely perfectly timed. Then the run down to the finish line here, blows his lead, lets Nick get through and takes the win.
Now we go back to WeRaceDiecast and the DIRS, and that crash there. So that's Rubber Toe in the pink and purple car, and that's Josh Poffler from Rust Belt Racing in the truck, who just gets absolutely snotted off the handrail there. Look at this, comes around, catches his rear end, and then lands on poor Glenn Harding's roof. Absolutely brutal smash there, but Rubber Toe absolutely capitalising, taking the win on that lap.
Back to Sonora, and they've had some huge accidents on this track and some huge jumps, but check this out. Vin Diesel clearing the blimp there. We've had a rally car come through before and hit the blimp, but that was a full jump over it. Absolutely incredible.
Now, speaking of incredible, this is Big Ear Dylan doing a mid-track roll.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, that is really impressive, and he nailed a very fast time and had the huge ear at the end of it. But what an incredibly controlled rollover.
Now back to Gravity Throttle Racing. That was a beautiful overtake out of the drift corner, but then check this, they're moving so quick, they just get rolled over in the front there, and then they end up stuck in the tunnel.
Wow, that's awesome. Love that track.
Yeah, it was just brilliant. I mean, lucky they had some safety rails there, or it could have been all sorts of trouble.
And we're just going to finish off with some of the finish line cams from RTR in the Nissan tournament. It has just been some epic finishes. And this one here was insanely close. Look at this, they come down almost nose to nose. A white car just taking it by, I don't know, the lens of a headlight. It was awesome. All right, as always, check out redlinederby.com. If you haven't been there, make sure you head over. You can load your track, you can load your races, you can look for races if you're looking to send cars in. There's all sorts of awesome information there. Check it out. Right, that's enough from us. We've got the rally starting next week. We look forward to seeing you there. Thanks very much for watching. I'm Tom Spanners Watson. He's Frank the Guru Gibbs. We'll see you next time.